Alright, hey, Hades Omega here, and welcome to a Hades Omega show and tell video. And what are we showing and telling? Hades Omega's 2021 Rav4 Prime SE. Okay, there it is. That's it, right behind me, charging with solar power right now. Unfortunately, it's kind of cloudy, so we're kind of not charging with solar power. We're charging with power stored from the sun. Anyway, if you want to learn more about that, check out Hades Omega's Solar Garage project on my Hades Omega Moto channel. I probably put a link at the end of this video. But I want to do kind of a quick show and tell video. I'm going to tell you why I bought this vehicle, how I bought this vehicle, and yeah, I'll give you the kind of the juicy details because I just took it home from a dealer. I haven't driven it more than like 10 miles yet, okay? and like, yeah, it's a pretty crazy experience having bought this car, okay, and especially in the time that I bought it. All right. Anyway, okay. So yeah, this is a Rav4, a 2021 Rav4 Prime SE model. Okay, it has the moonroof package. That seems to be the only one that I could find. They all come with moonroofs. All right. I think the only one that you can't get the moonroof is the black colored one. For whatever reason on the website, if I click black, it doesn't have a moonroof. So yeah. That's okay, I'll take it, I guess. But yeah, the moonroof option was $1,600 extra, okay? And it comes with an all-weather floor liner or floor mat dealie, so that's like another $200 something. So the total cost was almost $42,000. All right, that was like the sticker price, $42,000, and it had a $5,000 markup. Okay, I'm not too happy about that, but that's really how it is right now. If you want to get one of these, there's so much demand for it, and there's just not enough supply, so they got to mark it up. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen way worse markups than this. Okay, if you tried to get one last year, I've seen markups all the way up from like 8,000. I've seen 10,000. I've seen 15,000, and I think that's like an XSE model too. So that's a more expensive one, and it's $15,000 marked up. Like, that's ridiculous, man. I would not pay that much money for one of these, okay? I would sooner buy a Tesla, okay? I just want to say, okay? But anyway, Hades Omega got a pretty good deal because I bought this vehicle through the Clean Cars for All program, all right? It's a Bay Area Clean Cars for All program where if you retire your old vehicle, all right, then the vehicle that Hades Omega is going to be retiring is whammo, that one. All right, Toyota Previa. So yeah, so anyway, the program was if I trade this guy in, all right, my 1991 Toyota Previa DX, and it's going to go to the salvage yard, and then they're going to take it, and then they're going to give me $9,500 to purchase this vehicle. All right, and that's kind of like a no-brainer. I want to, if I didn't go through this program, I probably wouldn't have bought this. Okay, it's just too freaking expensive to buy. That's how I kind of came upon buying this. All right, I don't think I would have bought it like with the $5,000 markup and everything. And I'll kind of go over to how all the pricing. All right, so yeah, like I said, so this vehicle was $42,000 on the sticker price because it had the moonroof package. It went up from like 38 or 39,000. Up to 42,000 with the moonroof and the weather liner stuff. And so I had to buy it right away because I only had 60 days to purchase the vehicle. Okay, the Clean Car, it took me almost 6 months from submitting my application to actually. All right, sorry, my sister parked her car here, so yeah. Anyway, so this is how I got the car. I submitted an application for the Clean Cars for All program, okay, in March, and I didn't get a reply. It didn't go under review, okay. It's a grant, is what basically it is. It didn't go under review until July, okay, and it's August now, right? So it took a month to get everything rolling after they started looking at it, is what I'm gonna say. I had a problem with my address. I had to correct that. I did that right away, and then I had to take my van, all right, the one that I showed you. I had to take it to a salvage yard, which is Pick and Pull, which is right down the street from where I live. And then yeah, and then they give you an award letter, and they tell you, hey, you got 60 days to buy your car. So I bought the car. Okay, yeah. So So they're going to give you the $9,500, but you got 60 days to find a vehicle. So one of the problems with buying a vehicle right now is there's this computer chip shortage, all right, and it's pandemic right now, and like, you know, the factories aren't operating at full power and all that stuff. And the Rav4 Prime came out last year, and it was super popular, right? And it's like, it's literally the #1 compact SUV in America right now, okay? There's nothing that could touch it right now, all right? So yeah, they told me I had 60 days to find a vehicle. So I found one. What I did is I went through the vehicle list, the dealer list, and I emailed everyone, all right? And then I found one, Stevens Creek Toyota. Stevens Creek Toyota. Yeah, they had one coming in like a week, and I knew I had to get this done right away because the registration is almost up for my van, so I wanted to take care of that before, so I didn't have to pay registration for that. So that's the cool thing. So yeah, I tried to find one as soon as possible. This is the one I could find, and it wasn't very far from where I live, so that's a good thing. Because I looked far and wide for one, and it was like, yeah, there's a gray one, or it's an XSE, or it's a blue. There's a blue one. It can't get you the white one, or it's $50,000. It's too much. Okay, yeah. So I also forgot to mention that there's a ceiling. There's a limit to how expensive a vehicle you can buy. So and that limit is $46,000. All right. And guess how much this vehicle costs? $46,000. All right. I think it was $46,600. So I kind of got a $500 discount. So what they did is they discounted the markup just enough so I could use the program to purchase this. Okay. So I got a little bit of a discount, and I got a little bit on top using the California Clean Fuel Rewards discount, right? So that's where California will pay $1,500 if you're going to buy electric vehicle, okay? So I got that on top of the $9,500 Clean Cars for All reward, and so the total discount was $11,000. So I'd already got this $11,000 discounted. All right, after the taxes and the registration and all that crazy stuff, it wound up still being $40,000. Okay, so that's how much it wound up costing after all the discounts. Yeah, it is just insane how much a brand new car costs. This, by the way, this is the first brand new four-wheel vehicle that I ever bought. Okay, and I don't want to do it again. All right, hopefully I can be happy with this for a long, long time. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. I will tell you some things I'm disappointed in it in a bit. All right, so some stuff that I learned about it like after I took it home. But anyway, yeah. So it was $40,000. I got a loan through USAA for $21,000 is what I got, and then I borrowed some money from my mom. Okay, and then me and my mom put in like $20,000. The rest of the $20,000 that we put in that. So that's like a $20,000 down payment with the loan. Okay, so and then yeah, so I had to pay USAA back the car loan, and then I had to pay my mom back for the car for the money. Okay, so but that's cool. I don't think she's gonna charge me interest, so I give her a ride every once in a while. So I'm gonna say, okay. But anyway, yeah, so there you go. I picked it up today. I got it today. So so what's gonna happen is tomorrow, I just cleaned out my Toyota Previa the other day, and there was so much stuff that came out of it. I could not believe it. And I was thinking like, and then I looked inside the Rav4 today, and there's really not a whole lot of places to put stuff in this vehicle. Okay, I'm a little disappointed in that. That's my biggest gripe about it right now, is that yeah, there's not a lot of compartments to store stuff in it. If you look at the Prius, even to the Prius, okay, compare the Prius, the Rav4, the Prius has more space in like compartments than the Rav4. I cannot believe it. Maybe it's because of the battery, but the battery sits in the center of the vehicle, and we can take a look at that in a second. All right. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in that. And another thing I'm disappointed in is the charging. Okay, it doesn't charge very fast. It only has a 3.3 kilowatt hour battery charger on board. If you buy the XSC model with the premium package, you can get a 6.6 kilowatt charger, but that's like an extra like $10,000-$15,000 over this model. So yeah, there's no way I could swing it, and the Clean Cars for All program wouldn't let me buy that. Pretty sure. Okay, unless they discounted that to $46,000. All right, and I don't think that's gonna happen. All right, but yeah, they had this one. I had to actually pre-order it. Okay, that's the only way I could get it. They didn't have them on the lot, so you can't go like, oh, I'll buy that one right there. No, there was nothing like that. I'm not gonna lie, I had visited a few dealerships, and I talked to a bunch of dealerships, and some of them have like one or two. There's an XSE here. We can only get them. I couldn't find a white one for one thing. I remember last week I took a look at the dealership I bought this at, and they did have a gray one on the lot. All right, maybe somebody had pre-ordered it and then they backed out, and then it was sitting on the lot. Okay, is what I'm gonna say. I had to put a $500 deposit to purchase this vehicle. Okay, well, no, I didn't have to do it, but it was a refundable deposit. But yeah, if I wanted to back out, they would have given my money back. Okay, so but yeah, I had to put a deposit on it so somebody else would buy it. And so another thing is, I talked to another dealership. I think it was Sunnyvale Toyota. They don't have any markups. Okay, they charge you MSRP. Okay, and now $5,000. That doesn't sound like that much of a markup. Okay, to be honest, but $5,000 is a lot of money to Hades Omega. Okay, I could buy a decent motorcycle for $5,000. Is what I'm gonna say. All right, so that is a big chunk of change for Hades Omega. But like I said, I've seen worse. And so those dealers that don't have a markup they charge MSRP. They have a wait list, okay? And they were telling me they had a wait list of like 100 or 200 people waiting in line to buy one of these at MSRP. And I'm like, yeah. So, and the lady, the saleswoman that I purchased this from, okay, the person who I talked to, she said like, yeah, the dealerships aren't really getting that many of them a month. They're like less than like single digits. They get them every month. So if you're on a wait list with like 100, 200 people, good freaking luck getting a Rav4 Prime before your 60 days are up, all right, for the program. So yeah, I only had 60 days, so I said, hey, you guys might as well just get the one that you could find. And I found this one, and it's pretty much how I want it, all right? So why Hades Omega didn't you get the XSE model over the SE model? I wanted the SE model because, one, it's cheaper, and two, I don't like 19-inch rims, all right? I wanted the smallest rims, and technically, really, I just wanted like the 17-inch rims that the hybrid has, but the Rav4 Prime only comes with 18s and 19s, okay? The SE is 18, the XSE is 19. And I don't like the look of the 19s also, so I like this one. It's a 5-spoke. I could live with the 18. So this is the only car I own that has 18s on it, all right? Hades Omega's preferred tire size is 17, all right? I think it's got enough rubber on it where I could be happy. But it is a big wheel. It's an SUV wheel, so it's bigger than a car tire. And it rides really nice. I like it. It feels like you're driving like a truck or something. It's pretty beefy. I think I've ridden an FJ Cruiser before, and it feels somewhat similar to probably a smaller FJ Cruiser, you know. I haven't driven the Highlander. The Highlander, I checked. There was one parked right next to my Rav4, and it's like a foot longer than this. Honestly, I would have been happier with the Highlander, okay, because it's got that extra foot in the back, but they don't have one in the plug-in hybrid, okay. What other vehicle that Hades Omega? Okay, there's a couple. There's like kind of two vehicles that Hades Omega was thinking of purchasing. There was one a while back that I wanted. I wanted a plug-in hybrid vehicle that had all-wheel drive. All right, and then another hybrid vehicle that's just like that. A plug-in hybrid vehicle was the Mitsubishi plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, or the PHEV. Okay. And it's been out for a couple years now. Actually, I own a couple Mitsubishi, so Hades Omega is kind of a fan of the Mitsubishi brand and the Toyota brand, all right? But unfortunately, Mitsubishi took too damn long to update their Outlander, and we got the older one for a couple years, and then this came out, and it just blew the Outlander out of the water, all right? The current Outlander can get 25 miles to a charge. This one gets more than 40, okay? So that's double the electrical range, all right? And then I think the Outlander gets about 25 miles per gallon when it's a hybrid, all right? This one can get 40 miles per gallon when it's a hybrid. So it's like 40 and 40, yeah? So lots of 40s. I'll tell you this now. Hades Omega is turning 40 this year, so I decided to buy a $40,000 Rav4 Prime. and it gets 40 miles per gallon and 40 miles per charge. So 40 seems to be my lucky number this year. So I'm gonna play when I play the lottery. 40 is gonna be in my numbers. That's what I say. Okay, yeah, 40 seems to be the lucky number for Hades Omega this year. I just realized that right now. Everything is like freaking 40, man. What's up with that? All right, but yeah, it was the Outlander, and then I looked at the price of a brand new Outlander, 36,000, 36 or like 38,000, and I'm like, man. For a couple more $1,000, you can have this. I'm like, what? That's a no-brainer. Why would I want the Mitsubishi over? Now, the good thing about the Mitsubishi is it's the size of a 3-row crossover, okay? Where this one is only a 2-row, okay? It's just the back and the front, obviously. It would have been nice if it was a little bit bigger or a little bit longer, is what I'm going to say. But it's got a lot of horsepower. This car has 302 horsepowers, man. That is a lot. That is the most horsepower I've ever. Now I drove it home and it was okay. Okay, it's definitely got more get up and go than the Prius. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. All right, but basically that's what it is. It's a big Toyota Prius. All right, it's a big Prius with all-wheel drive. The funny thing is, like, I helped a friend buy a Prius V earlier this year, and I noted the interior of the Prius V looks almost the same as a Rav4. And yeah, if you look at them, it looks like a Rav4. So, and I believe that's the reason why Toyota stopped selling the Prius V, is because they started selling these, the hybrids. Okay, I don't even know why you want to buy a regular gasoline Rav4 over a hybrid, because the hybrid is only like $2,000 extra. Okay? Now, Hades Omega had test drove the Rav4 hybrid before this, okay, and I liked it. Okay, I liked it a whole lot. It had plenty of power. I was like, wow. And then what was next? I test drove the Volkswagen ID4, and I liked that. That is the other one that I would have bought. All right, that's the other electric SUV vehicle I would have bought. All right, that you could buy through the Clean Cars for Air program, by the way. It has to be a plug-in hybrid or a battery electric or hydrogen fuel cell. There's not too many of those out there, right? So yeah, I drove the ID4 and I liked it. All right, it's very similar to this. I think it's pretty much almost the same thing. Maybe it's more like a car than this. This is more kind of like a SUV, like a truck sort of. That's what I want to say. And I liked it. It had plenty of power. It had some good range, but the only thing I didn't like about the ID4 is you didn't pay. It was rear-wheel drive, all right. It was only 2-wheel drive. There's a 2-wheel drive, and you have to pay extra to get the all-wheel drive model. And Hades Omega had to have all-wheel drive because I'm planning to drive this thing off-road, okay, or like on trails and dirt and sand and all that stuff. And so I was doing that with my van, and I was getting stuck in the dirt, and it sucks, man. So if I had all-wheel drive, I wouldn't get stuck so much. Say, okay. So I had to have all-wheel drive, and guess what? The Rav4 Prime is all-wheel drive standard. Okay, it has all-wheel drive standard, and it's electrical all-wheel drive too. Yeah, so the ID4 didn't come with its standard, and it was $42,000 for just a 2-wheel drive model. So that just makes me think, how much more expensive is the all-wheel drive model? And the all-wheel drive model hadn't come out yet. So at the time of this video, they haven't come out with the all-wheel drive model, and like I said, I only got 60 days to purchase a vehicle. So yeah, and I emailed the Volkswagen dealership when they would get one, and they didn't give me a reply. So yeah, all right. That's it. But I did like the ID4. That was my next choice. But like I said, it doesn't have all-wheel drive standard, okay? And the Rav4 Prime does. And then there was another one. I test drove the Tesla Model Y. I drove the Tesla Model Y. I've rented a Model 3 before, and I like it. I like it a lot, but I would rather have a Toyota over a Tesla because of reliability, okay? I don't think the Tesla's build quality and reliability is up there with the Toyota yet, okay? I've heard a lot of things, okay? And if anything goes wrong with it, it's got to go back to Tesla, you know? Okay, yeah, so my family has owned 5 Priuses, okay? I think there was a 2002, we had a 2005, I have a 2006 now, and I think we had a 2004, we had a 2004 also, and then we had a 2010 Toyota Prius. Okay, so Hades Omega's family has a long history with the Toyota Prius and the hybrids. Okay, so that's how I know I can trust the hybrid. Okay, the hybrid vehicles. They're very reliable. They don't need a lot of maintenance. You just, I mean, yeah, you still got to change the oil, and yeah, they still have catalytic converters, so that's a problem. And yeah, and I have a Toyota Previa, and I have a 91 Toyota Previa, the one that I'm going to trade in. All right, and then I had a 1986 Toyota van. All right, that old van that you sit on top of the wheels. Yeah, I had one of those, and they're are super reliable, and they've gone the miles, and so that's why I trust the Toyota brand. That's why I wouldn't buy a Tesla. Okay, but I'm not gonna lie, the Teslas are really nice. Okay, it's definitely very, very high tech and modern, even compared to a Rav4 Prime. Okay, but really this is kind of like the best you can buy right now. It ticks all the boxes for Hades Omega. Okay, but okay, so yeah, so I'm going to talk about like why I wanted to buy this vehicle. I was looking for a vehicle that could replace my van and my Prius. Okay, Prius, very good gas mileage. It's a little bit small. Actually, Prius is for how big a Prius is, it's got a lot of interior space. Okay, I cannot find any other vehicle that could match, you know, the size for the size of it, how much interior space it's got. It's awesome. What I want to say, like a lot of like think of like a Kia Soul or some kind of other compact vehicle. It doesn't have the space that a Prius has. I think the newer Priuses don't have as much space as the second gen though. But anyway, yeah, but yeah, it doesn't have the interior space or the cargo capacity of the Previa. Okay, my Toyota Previa is like, it's monstrous. There's lots of space in it. I use it as an RV basically. I use it to go camping and everything, but it's not all-wheel drive. All right, so that's one of the boxes that it ticks, is it's all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. You know, all power goes to all the wheels, so Hades Omega won't get stuck in the sand. It'll be safer to drive in the rain, that kind of stuff. Okay, and yeah, I'm done with the front-wheel drive and the rear-wheel drive, man. I'm tired of getting stuck in the sand and the dirt. So I mean, you could probably still get stuck in this, but not as much as the van, man. I've had the van, once it just touches the dirt, it just sinks right into it. Especially if you're pulling a trailer, alright? Okay, and another thing is, yeah, pulling a trailer. It has to have the ability to pull a trailer. Well, my van kind of can pull a trailer. It's got plenty of power to pull a trailer, but at higher altitudes and with heavy loads, it just crawls up freaking hills, okay? And then the Prius, I have a hitch on the Prius, and I do tow light loads with it. And it is not really designed for towing, okay? The Prius is never designed to tow anything, right? But it does it, and it gets about 35 miles per gallon. Pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. But yeah, it just doesn't have any power, dude. It wasn't designed for it. However, the Rav4 Prime is rated to tow 2,500 pounds. That's a lot. You can tow like a small car with that, or you could tow like a big trailer with it. So I'm gonna have to get a big trailer to tow my stuff. All right, I have a small trailer right now. I might have to get a big one now, because this doesn't have the same space that the Previa does. It's bigger than the Prius, but it's smaller than the Previa. That's the killer right there. If they had made a Highlander hybrid Prime, you know, with the plug-in and everything, I probably would have bought that instead. All right, but they don't. Okay, this and the Toyota Prius, okay, those are the only two vehicles that you could get with this program that have the plug-in, you know, ability. This year they stopped you can't buy any hybrids with this program. Okay, yeah, okay, it's all-wheel drive and it can tow stuff, all right, and yeah, the all-wheel drive and the towing goes together, all right. It's got 300 horsepower. It should have more than enough to tow, because I think my Toyota Previa, I don't know, I think it's like around 150 horsepower, 160 horsepower. And it tows just fine, all right. But when you need that extra power, dude, like to go up a hill or something, it's not there, okay. And one nice thing about this is it has a big battery pack. So if you do coast down a big hill, you can use that regen to charge the battery. You know how when you go down a really long hill after going up a really steep hill, and you charge that battery on the Prius, it gets overcharged, or it gets charged really quickly, and then it turns the gasoline motor on to slow the vehicle down. Well, I don't think you're going to get that in this one, because when you go downhill and you charge that battery, you've got a big battery to charge, so it'll charge, like it'll keep on regenning, no problem. So that's one of the gripes I had about the Prius. Yeah, it's kind of like that. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, yeah. So another good thing about another thing that ticks the boxes on this vehicle is the gas mileage. It has great gas mileage. It gets the same gas mileage as my Prius. Okay, my Prius gets anywhere from 40 to 45 miles per gallon. That's what I would think this would get. All right, at least on paper it does. Okay, I haven't owned it long enough to tell you what the gas mileage is. All right, if it's driving in hybrid mode. Okay, and that leads me to, like, yeah, it's a plug-in hybrid. Once the battery is depleted, you don't have to worry. You don't have to have range anxiety. Okay, you can run it on gasoline or electric only. So you got a choice. If you drive in the city all the time, you don't go very far, then this is a great vehicle, because you'll drive it under electric power like pretty much all the time. Okay, and even if the battery gets depleted, it runs in a hybrid mode, and it still gets good gas mileage like a Prius. Okay, so I know the newer Priuses are getting somewhere like 50 to 60 miles per gallon, but like my old Prius, it gets like 40-45. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. For the factory, this guy gets like 40 something miles per gallon. All right, and it's got way better gas mileage than my van. So that's one of the things that was painful driving my van. I like driving my van. It's a 5-speed manual and everything. It's fun to drive, but it eats up a lot of freaking gas, man. It gets 18 miles per gallon to like 22 miles per gallon. All right, if you're on the freeway towing at 55 miles per hour, you could probably get like 21 miles per gallon. Okay. If you're hauling at like 70 miles an hour, or if you're just driving around the city a whole lot, then yeah, it's not uncommon to get like 18 miles per gallon on that Previa, right? And that Previa is getting old, so I was like, yeah, I think it's time to retire it. I don't really want to fix everything on it. And then my Prius is getting old. My Prius had like 210,000, and my Previa has 248,000. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, both of those vehicles will still keep on going, all right, but they're getting kind of old, is what I'm gonna say. All right, so yeah, it still gets good gas mileage, all right, and it has a lot of power to tow. So, and it has the all-wheel drive, and yeah, and it's, like I said, it's got more space than the Prius, but less space than the van, unfortunately. All right, like I said, ideally, probably something like a Highlander would have been the perfect size, but they don't sell one in the plug-in hybrid yet, okay? Or the Sienna. I could be happy with the Sienna. I really like the Sienna also. Hatties Omega was, I've been driving minivans for a long time, and I really, really like them. I'm a big fan of minivans, but I wanted to try out an SUV, okay? There you go. And I could do some off-roading and the trail with this stuff. Just some very light off-road is what I'm gonna say, okay? Okay, yeah, so those are the kind of boxes that it ticked, all right? And it didn't cost all that much, okay? Like I said, the ID4 didn't cost as much. The ID4 was more expensive, and it wasn't standard all-wheel drive. The Model Y starts at $50K. The only other vehicle that's kind of comparable to this is the Outlander, and that's like, you get like half the range and half the miles per gallon. It's kind of, it's a no-brainer. This is a better vehicle. I think the Outlander is a little bit bigger than this, though. I have to say that. And Hatties Omega is a big fan of the Mitsubishi brand, but you know what? I'm a big fan of the Toyota brand, and so I'm planning to own this vehicle for a long, long time. So there it is. Okay. All right. So let's go take a look at the vehicle. That's why Hatties Omega wanted to buy this vehicle, and how Hatties Omega bought the vehicle. So next is we're gonna do the show and tell section part. Okay. All right. Let's figure out.